going to be actually listening to a conversation that was recorded back in December. So if you hear referrals to Nutcracker, don't worry. No one's performing Nutcracker in the middle of April. But yeah, this conversation was super special to me, and I just wanted to put it out there on the podcast, and I hope you enjoy it. Hi.
How are you?
Good. It's so nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. I was going to make my bed, but if you can see, my dog is literally sleeping like wrapped up in the covers, and it's so cute.
Oh, you can't disturb that. I'm so jealous that you have a dog. I want one so badly.
You should get one. Honestly, like if you feel stable at your job, I'm so glad I pulled the trigger last year. I was engaged. I didn't know if I was going to stay in the same place. Like, it was the worst time to get a dog, but it was also the best. My fiance took him for like the second half of the year, so it was like I got to raise him when he was like a baby puppy, and then my fiance got him when he was like kind of a teenager, and now we're married, and now we're together in Russia. So
now
the dog is like
has the best of both worlds.
It's like our obsession, yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. But you're allowed to bring it. You're allowed to bring it to the theater.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I mean, it's pretty, like, we're pretty, I guess maybe it's because, like, I'm a ballerina here. I don't know, I guess, like, everybody's fine with it. Like,
that's cool.
I don't know, I didn't really ask.
Maybe that's the key. Just don't ask, just assume it's fine, and then then everyone falls in love with the puppy.
First, he was so cute, like, because he was so small. I think it was, like, annoying when he was learning about separation anxiety, and he would, like, bark during ballet class.
I mean, we have a lot of the parents bring their babies to class, and they have to learn the same thing. So, you know, same but different.
Yeah, same but different. I don't think that would apply at Boston Ballet, but yeah, I guess it's here. But he's like in between the mini and the toy size. He's not as small as like the toy. Okay. And honestly, it's perfect because he's like perfect size to travel, perfect size. And he also kind of, like, holds his own, which is nice.
Nice. That's good. That's good.
And, like, I'm recommending if anybody's looking into getting a dog, definitely look into getting a poodle because, like, they're hypoallergenic. The purebred dogs are, like, they're a lot healthier. Yeah. And he doesn't smell, like, literally, I wash his feet, and he's fine to sleep with us,
Amazing.
I don't know. How are you?
Good. I was just at rehearsal, so I was, like, running to get home, and then we were rehearsing Serenade, and we're going on tour tomorrow, so we'll not be touching it for, like, 4 or 5 days, and then we come back and perform it, so they've just been kind of, drilling it.
I have a premiere of Sophie in 4 days. My ankle's, like... Do you ever get the thing where your ankle kind of feels like stuck?
Oh yeah, like hurts totally jammed. Yeah, like on the outside it hurts.
It literally is so painful, and I'm like stressed out. And I'm just like rehearsing Nutcracker at the same time, and I did a run through of second act today, and I had to like go to our person who just scheduled, and I was like, I need to cancel like Nutcracker rehearsal. Yeah, it's a little stressful because I'm like, oh, I can't walk.
Oh, ballet. I was just talking with a friend we're going through all the different kind of like hard parts of ballet, and we're like, this is a crazy career, like why are we doing this? But we love it. It's amazing. It's just insane. So maybe we can just back up, and I did a little bit of like research and figuring out your past, but just I would love to hear it straight from you. So where did you grow up exactly? And go for it.
So I was born in Santa Monica, California, and I grew up there for like the first 12 years of my life. That was where I trained first. And I was lucky because the studio that I went to was like very balancing, and so that was like my beginning. And I think like because of that, I got like kind of like on a like pre-pro track. I don't think if it was like a Dolly Dinkle studio. I think I was really lucky with that. And then my family moved to Texas, and when we moved to Texas, I was kind of like really sad because I still wanted to train, and there wasn't really any good teachers there except for like this woman who had trained with this guy from Bolshoi Ballet Academy, and so she took over my training, and after that, I like switched my technique and got accepted to Kirov Academy, and I went to Kirov for 2 years, and then I went to a master class of Bolshoi in New York, and that's like where I got accepted to the school. And then like I went to their summer intensive, and it just so happened that year there was like a woman she was like getting ready to take on like the first through the third year, which is like their last like course, like their upper level. And so she gave me Nikita, and the director of the Bolshoi Academy like just happened to be there too, which is also like a crazy miracle. And so they like took me into the Russian course of the school, and like from day one in the academy they like gave me a lot of things to dance, which I was so like, looking back, I was so lucky because that doesn't happen. And so I kind of was like set up during school. It was very difficult. It was a hard process. Like I had injury, and then my teacher, like her husband got ill, so I had to change a teacher, and it was like very difficult to stay relevant. And by like the grace of God and like different miracles, I graduated school at the top of my class, and had several offers after the end of school because I was doing like competitions. I had like soloist contracts, which I didn't realize like how rare that was. And so I was trying to decide between Mihailovsky Theater in St. Petersburg and Bolshoi. And I eventually went to Bolshoi, which it was kind of like bittersweet because that was my dream and I really wanted to dance there.
Yeah.
But at the time there was a director who was very corrupt. There still is a director who was very corrupt, but he was very like, I didn't really like understand, like, yes, I lived in Russia for 3 years, but I didn't understand like the bribe culture, which is very like prevalent. It's kind of like an Eastern European mentality thing. And I was so naive, and I didn't, and so it kind of like my young naivety, and somebody basically took advantage of it. And long story long, like there was a scandal, and I ended up like deciding that I was going to leave. Was 19. I didn't even know that things would blow over if I gave it time. It was just such a hard thing. But luckily, the company that literally is right next door to Bolshoi, which is a pretty big company in Moscow called the Kremlin Ballet, offered me a principal contract. And I had a beautiful coach there who like took me in and kind of was like, don't focus on all of the stupid things, like just focus on ballet. And she kind of like refocused me and gave me a beautiful like kind of space to just work on myself, work on my career. And so I spent like 4 years there and did a whole bunch of like international competitions while like being in the company, which was I think also really special because I think it was in a way like almost like, yes, I was dancing in a company, but she was also like pushing me to like grow myself and had a beautiful partner there. And then after 4 years, I kind of was burnt out, really like very much like, and I was overworking for a little bit of money, and I was like burned out of the system, and I didn't really know what I wanted. And I think I just like, I look back on it and I think I just needed a perspective, and I didn't really know that that's what I needed. So I got offered a principal contract to move to Korea, and I loved Korean dancers.
Whoa, I missed that in my research. Wow, what a shift.
So I spent 2 years in Korea, and that was really fun. But it also was like, it was very lonely. The dance like style there is everybody's very dedicated to it, and I loved it, and I was very like dedicated to ballet, but I also was starting to ask myself questions about like, what do I want in my life, person, and building friendships there was like kind of difficult to do with people who weren't like in the dance company, and it just was like, I kind of like slipped further into like an eating disorder, and it just got really dark, and I decided to make a change, and I went back to Moscow and kind of freelanced, which was really exciting. I danced with like Bulgarian National Ballet, like Istanbul, like a lot of different guestings with my partner. And at that time I was like taking with Bolshoi, and a lot of my old coaches were like, you're going to get back in, like don't worry, you're going to like get back in. And so my kind of hope was like, I was going to go back to Bolshoi. Then the director like calls me into his office, and we had this kind of like 2-month thing where it's basically like, if you print a retraction, you say everything that you said was like a lie. And then it like got down to like, well, if you sleep with me, and then it kept being this like thing of like, I needed to compromise my morals. It was like a very hard period, but I basically was like, okay, Lord, I give you this dream of like dancing with the Bolshoi and doing this thing, and I just like give it to you. And I think I'm just gonna like dance where I can dance, and if you open a door for a contract, like, I'll walk through it. But if not, like, I'm really enjoying studying in school, and at that time I was like studying in a university in Moscow, and doing a lot of like certifications. Like, I got my like Pilates certification, like, and when I was in Italy, I basically like learned that whole system and was going to come back to Moscow and like bring that system to the Bolshoi Ballet School. And I was like thinking a lot about like next step. I kind of had just not really given up on being a professional dancer, but I just was really like brokenhearted. Like, the system is broken, everything is stupid, you know, like I love that, but I hate the system. I don't like working in a company. And then I got offered randomly, like totally an act of God, like a contract in Boston. But it was a quarter ballet contract. And that was like a moment of like, it really was a moment of humility and just like, you know what, I'm just grateful to be offered a job. And so I took the contract, I went to Boston, and that was a hard season. Like, so used to kind of like the dancing principal roles and like working as a principal dancer. I didn't really like have a skill set of like working in the quarter ballet and working in the Western set, and like Western companies that are like very, very different. And there were some huge pluses where there was like a PT and there was this kind of thing, but there also was a lot of things that I hated.
What were some of those things, if you want to say?
I just really struggled with like the lack of coaching. I struggled with the lack of, I really knew that I wasn't a quarter ballet dancer, and like all of a sudden I'm like trying to be a quarter ballet dancer. So here I am, like a seasoned professional, standing with girls who are like just out of school and don't know how to like stand in a line or listen to the music, and like the days of just like being in the studio where your feet are like so swollen because you're just standing. You're like second or third cast. But I had a beautiful time connecting with this person that I had been talking to for several years, and we started dating, and so like my personal life was very healthy. Like there were like I was like getting better from my eating. Like there was a lot of things like in my life that were getting better, but they're like the ballet side was kind of dying, and so it was like going to work every day was such a struggle. I never struggled like relatively to that, I have to love, like I have to re-fall in love with this job over again. And so I would like come in and like do my own class and then rehearse variations, and then I would do like company class and like the quarter, because I just like I didn't have enough of that, and I felt like I was like losing myself. And I'd like have these conversations with the director who'd be like, well, I know you're a principal dancer, but like we don't really have opportunities right now because, you know, we're not trying to promote like this or that, or like your style is very Russian. And so I would like really try to like go back to my balancing style. And then the pandemic happened, which was like, but it was kind of like a blessing in disguise, because like they had announced casting and I had been rehearsing like Swan Lake, and the director was kind of like, yeah, like we might be able to give you a show with Swan Lake. And like that's something that I danced in my career like so much, so like I felt confident, you know, like, oh, you know, maybe I was like naive to think like the first year, but I also was like, he gave me a quarter ballet contract knowing that I was a principal dancer, and kind of like, sorry, this is the only thing we had available. And I got cast in like maybe like one show of Small Songs, and the rest in like, and I was like, no. Oh God, like I was like, I can't, like and then everything like shut down. So Andrew and I went to the ranch, and we kind of like grew deeper in our relationship and had a lot of like clarities, and we did a lot of praying together, and I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely like the man for me, you know, like I was but I was like, well, what do I do with this thing about like I love ballet so much, but yeah, it's not really like working out. If I'm supposed to dance, I'm supposed to dance. And I get a call in the middle of the summer from my partner Misha, like, yo, I've just joined this company. Dima Gudanev, like, who was a very close friend with me, like had the keys to my apartment in Moscow, you know, just became the director here, and he's like, come, like, be my partner, like, let's dance, like, let's get back to the way it was in the old times. And like Dima like hires me like sight unseen. I have not danced a principal role in like 2 years at this point, like, and he's like, yeah, come, and can you dance Don Q in 2 weeks? His husband to be was like, what? Wait, I thought we were like doing something completely different. I thought we were going to go back to Boston Ballet. And at this time, like Boston still hadn't announced like what they were going to do. Everybody was still like not even in the studio. Like everybody wasn't even doing remote stuff. It was like literally everybody was off. And so I called the director and I was like, well, I've had this offer and, you know, you guys haven't really announced anything. And he's like, well, you know, and I was like, how realistic is it if we come back? Like, is there opportunity for me to move up in the company? Like, because I'm really like unhappy. And he's like, well, I don't know. Like, first of all, we've been hit really like bad financially, so we don't know when we're going to be like dancing again. And I'm like, well, what do you think if I just like take a leave of absence? And he's like, oh, that's totally fine. Take a leave of absence, but then let's talk in January. Andrew proposes. I leave to Russia like 3 days later.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and my director's like, so you're dancing down Q in 2 weeks, which is like, I literally came on, like, the stage here is very beautiful, and I just remember this moment of like just breaking down and weeping. It was a beautiful year of like kind of falling back in with what I love. But it comes time in January, and like Boston Ballet is in the studios, and like he offers me a contract, but he offers me a corps ballet contract for next year. And I like have a very real like conversation with him of like, I'm not a corps ballet dancer. Like I've been dancing, you know, back, and I really enjoy it. And I don't need a fancy company. I don't need a fancy name, but I'm really grateful that you gave me that opportunity when you did. Like I was really like, so we parted ways in a very like mutual thing. He was like, well, let me know if you need a guest teacher, you know. So like I felt like it was very good. I don't like regret leaving Boston Ballet at all, but it was interesting because on one hand, like Andrew was like, I thought we were going to do life in the US. All of a sudden we're back doing ballet, and now we're in Russia together as a family. So that's where we're at now. We're very much like evaluating things about like next year. Like I don't think that Andrew wants to be living here in Astrakhan because it's a very small city. I totally understand him. You know, he has a beautiful business in the US, and we know that for us, like for me, that we're not looking to dance in the States.
Yeah.
You know, I know we have to like find something that will like work better
Compromise,
for us.
yeah.
It's so funny. Like as soon as you get married, it's like all of your priorities change. Like I want my husband to feel happy and excited about what he's doing.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's my story in a nutshell.
That's so cool. Like that's so rich. Wow, how exciting. And I didn't realize that it was like so recent, some of the like events that have happened, and that's so cool. Really, really cool. Another question would be, you mentioned that you had an eating disorder. Would you mind touching on that a little bit?
I think I think all dancers, we struggle in like some way. Like
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like it kind of started in Bolshoi Academy and got to a point of like where it's like a control thing. And I think honestly, like where I really feel like I like kind of turned a corner is when I got married. That's crazy. I've like been hesitant in the past to talk about it because it's like I know we like sometimes like talking about it can be triggering for like other people. But I do feel like I feel very convicted that I do need to share like that it is a struggle, and it's like an ongoing struggle because I think especially working here in Russia, you're very much like held to a certain like weight standard, and now all I hear about me is like, oh, you're fat, Joy, you're heavy, you're this or that, and like that is like the worst thing ever to hear. Actually, I'm strong now. Actually, like I have stamina, and like I don't care if you don't think that I look like how I looked like when I'm 18. Yeah, that's definitely been like a process, but my identity comes in Christ, and God like wants to treat ourselves, you know, with love. So I think the only way you can kind of start to get freedom from it is to like speak about it and to like be honest, like when you're struggling. But yeah, I mean, it's not something that you can just like wave around and it's gone. Like you know?
Yeah, 100%. It's crazy how it's such a reality, I think, in the ballet world. And I've just heard from so many different girls and so many different body types, and they all have the same struggle, which is crazy. And you just realize like how distorted it is, you know. And
I will be the first to raise my hand. Like I struggle with that. You know? There's self-doubt that comes in, and you hear like, I had this coach and now she's gone, but she literally would tell me like, and this is within the past 2 months, like every day, like you're fat, Joy, you're really fat. Like, you should really lose weight. Like, you would be so much happier and healthier if you would just lose weight. And it's like, I'm not heavy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
look at my leg. Like,
There's nothing there. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's really crazy. Well, good job. I think I feel like in Europe it's changing a bit. I don't know what it's like in the States because dancers are getting more brave to speak out, and I think with social media there's a freedom of exposing people, and directors, ballet masters, I think are scared of that, people speaking out against them. So I think they're kind of tiptoeing now around the subject, but I think that would be really challenging. So good job for just sticking to what you know. And I don't know if you saw, but I actually did a interview with Ashley. It was like my last interview because she struggled a lot with that in school. And she had this statement which I felt like spoke so powerfully to me. And I'm gonna butcher quoting it, but it was along the lines of, if you have to harm yourself in order to achieve some sort of expectation or just standard, then you don't think you're worthy of care or love. And I was like, whoa, like how many times have I subconsciously thought that harming myself was a good thing. But yeah. And just to kind of tag along here, when did Italy come into? I lost that on the timeline. You said you went to Italy?
That was after Korea. And I would spend a lot of time there training with my coach in Florence. I miss it a lot. I'm like, the pandemic, of course, shut down a lot of the fun stuff that I used to do. It's just like, I hope that it'll get better. I'm like,
so this movie that just came out, I really want to see it, but I don't know if there's like a way to see it, or
I think there's a way. I know that it's gonna like be coming out on US like streaming platforms on December 10th.
Okay. That's soon. So how did that happen? Like, who did you have it in mind? A friend or?
No, I did not have it in mind at all. But my friend Dina Burles, who's the producer, she like approached me and asked if I would be interested, and I was like, well, why not? Like, at that time I was kind of like used to doing like photo shoots or whatever, and it was really fun to kind of like work with somebody who's a photographer and a videographer, and the guy who did the film for the shoot, he's a beautiful photographer. Every time I do a photo shoot, like teaches me about artistry.
Yeah,
and
totally.
Working with him, he's like trying to teach me that you don't have to be beautiful, like you don't have to pose, like just you yourself is beautiful. And like he taught me a lot about just like the appreciation of beauty. And I don't know, they filmed it for 9 years, so like I became really close friends with Dina the producer and Sergey the videographer. So it's kind of hard to think about like the beginning, because I think myself kind of like always of being friends with them, because it wasn't like ongoing for 9. It was like sometimes it would come to this kind of a thing. If you watch the movie too, you'll see like it's very interesting how they like put it together too. And it was kind of like very artsy fartsy, you know, very like, and I really like that. Like I like working with it. He has like a different way of looking at things. They filmed like the darkest times in my life too. Like, and I think it's so hard you're a girl, then you're an adolescent, and then all of a sudden you're expected to be a woman, and like going from this period of like naivety to having like wisdom or worldliness or like something that makes you be able to see like a full picture. So it's like kind of, when I watched the film, I hadn't seen it, and I watched it only on the premiere. It was
wow.
And then my husband was with me. I feel like the dancing in it is still very I'm like, oh, I wish the dancing there was like stuff from now.
It's very raw, but you're also a dancer who's going to be self-critical and anyway, so.
Maybe we'll come to Estonia.
Come, you're so close. Yeah, no kidding.
I did a little bit there, like while I was waiting for a visa, like the previous director, Thomas.
Yeah.
He was so nice. Like he let me come and take class, and I think there was a period of time I was there for like 3 weeks or something.
Nice.
I love Estonia. It's so like cute.
I love it. It's such a comfortable, special little corner of the world. I feel like whenever people come visit, they're like, like I've heard of Estonia, but this is never what I expected. And it's so cute. And especially, I don't know when you came, like when the last time you came was, but in my 5 years, it's changed so much. And it's like growing, and they're, I think, just really big entrepreneurs and expanding. And like they also support the arts so much, and the local artists, whether it's ballets or acting or clothes or design. I feel like there's a lot here for people who are creative, so it's really fun. I enjoy
cool.
Yeah,
Let's come and visit.
do it, yeah, by all means. It'd be really fun. But so speaking of your life in Russia, what is a day in your life? I couldn't believe you said that you get your schedule the day of.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
like it's so bad. It's so bad because you can have like no life, and they're like not even sorry about it.
Yeah, I heard it's the same in Hamburg though. It's crazy. Oh gosh, and it's Germany.
Hamburg can be like, I know, and like that's how is that even happening?
I don't know. I was like, it feels like it should be illegal.
I know. Well, right now my schedule is a bit different because I'm having to take a huge step back because I used to do so much cross training. My body is just not like dealing well with it right now. So I used to like wake up and go for a run and go and do floor bar and class, like the gym, and then rehearsals and then show. And right now I'm like going to like waking up, walking the dog, like going to do floor bar before class, like doing class, I have like 4 rehearsals a day right now, so that's a lot. And I just getting back over getting over COVID for the second time, so I'm like not doing the gym at the moment. Like today I had a run through right now. I was supposed to rehearse during the day, and I have a run through in the evening, so my schedule is like still pretty full.
So floor bar, ballet, rehearsals all day. Yeah. How many performances?
And then gym.
Yeah.
Well, right now we like the 12th I have Sylphide, and then we have Nutcracker on the 19th, and then we go to Dubai for 6 days.
How cool. We were also supposed to go to Dubai, but COVID.
Yeah, so that's what's up. Like, we're going to Dubai this year to do Nutcrackers, and then I'm going to Poland for 2 months to shoot this movie, and then we do Raimonda in April, so it'll be pretty, like, we'll probably have Giselle and Don Q and stuff, but like Raimonda is like what I'm working on this year.
Okay, cool.
April. And then
crazy.
Then we're figuring out what we're doing next season. Are we staying here, or are we auditioning other places, or?
I just want to ask one last question about the gym. When did you get into that? You said that you studied it a little bit, or PT, or
I'm a certified personal trainer, which I did that in Boston.
Okay.
But I actually got into like going to the gym, and I love it. Like, I miss it so much. I got into it in Korea. Like, strength training is so amazing, and it changes everything.
I'm actually, right after I hang up with you, I'm going to the gym, and I have a personal trainer, which is great. He used to be a dancer at our company, and then he kind of switched gears, and now he's a PT in the gym that sponsors the theater. So it works out really well. So we get quite a good discount, and then he's a dancer, so he also knows like what we need.
What to do.
Yeah, because
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
The trainer I work with here, I think he gets a little bit like confused, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't think we should have done that. But,
yeah.
I prefer working with a trainer to like working by myself, like, because even though I know it, I'm like, it's much better working with somebody because they can like
so much
keep you accountable,
push you that extra mile. Even now, like when we do something at one weight with him, when I go to the gym by myself, I'm like, I don't think I can do that.
It's like I go down kilogram.
Yeah, on paper it says I can do it, but right now I don't know.
It's been so fun talking with you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Anything else, just let me know. I'm sorry that I'm like having to rush because I'm
No. I need to get going too. It's totally fine. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And thanks for reaching out to me.
No,
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Our Second Home podcast, a podcast dedicated to opening up theater doors through conversations with artists all around the world. For more information, visit our Instagram page, _Our Second Home with the numerical 2, or visit the blog, www.oursecondhome.org, also with a numerical 2. You can also email us at oursecondhome2@gmail.com. Until next time.